Hi, lovely ones. It's Ethany, and it's the fourth day in July. So happy 4th of July for all of my friends in the US of A. I hope you all have a wonderful, safe Independence Day. But I'm here to talk about my June recap, what's been happening, I've got notes. Look how cute this little notebook is. I have notebooks for everything. I have notebooks for different projects. Every project gets a notebook. I have notebooks just for writing down reminders, and if I'm doing like math or something, just like, doodling during the day. But I got this. I think it's really, I love anything with like a little alacky to go over it, to hold on to it. I love it. So I'm going over events, music, decks, books, full moon, just kind of like a recap of June. I did one in May and you all seemed to like it. So let's go and do this thing. So the month of June, the magical month of June, was a very big month for me personally. So I had a lot of personal stuff happening. It is a month chock full of birthdays. I had over 6 birthdays in June, including my own and including my son. So that, as you can imagine, with that many birthdays happening, especially a lot of them being family, that it was a busy month. It was a really busy month personally. So I had to kick it off there. Dom's daycare had a spring concert, which was a little bit late because of holidays and things that some of the kids took. And Dominic played, I was so proud of him. He played the children who were going into kindergarten this year, the next school year, because it's now summer, September this year. It still mucks with me because I still think of school years as Australian years, not North American. I'm going to now, considering my son is going into actual kindergartens, proper like school terms. So he was in a play, all the children who were going into turning 5 and who were going into kindergarten did a play, and it was a little red hen. And he played the pig. And there were 2 other children who played every other part. So there was 2 farmers, 2 hens, 2 pigs, 2 cats, 2 ducks, 2 dogs, and only 1 pig. And Dominic was the only one. And he did so well. I was like, oh my gosh, my heart is so full. I'm so proud of you. So the guy had a moment. And he also had a sports day, which he did really good. Like, they did things like egg racing and 3-legged races and sack races, and it was just the most adorable thing. And as many of you know, we got a puppy, so I took the puppy to the sports day because I just gotten him, so I was kind of carrying him around everywhere just from the anxiety perspective, and still bonding. He's a lot better now. He's in his crate having a nap after his morning play, feed and walk. So then it was my birthday. It was wonderful. So I had my very lovely friends come out and celebrate that with me. I'm just looking at my notes. Honestly, this is all I'm doing. I'm just like checking off that I'm doing everything. We had an amazing Letha picnic. So for anyone who's in Vancouver, I do host monthly events for get-togethers, and we had a Letha picnic at Queen Elizabeth Park, and I met some new people, and it was just really, really fun. It was not at all very summery with the fact that it's a summer Sabbath. It was quite, I look like I've got like bug eyes, don't I, with these glasses. It was not summery. It was raining, but the Queen Elizabeth Park is quite beautiful. So that was really lovely. We did a little ritual for joy and bliss, a little candle ritual, obviously not in the park. I just had everyone bless and anoint their candles to take them home. And I also gave them a crystal, and we did a little visualization and then did a reading. So that was fun. The big other thing besides like I said, there's a lot of events. So if you're waiting for the music, decks, books and all that sort of stuff, it is coming. Then Tarot Summer School launched on the 3rd, which was my sister's husband's birthday, and the 4th is my birthday, the 5th is my mom's birthday. Like, it just goes on and on from there. And the 3rd is also one of my best friends in Australia's birthday. So it's just a lot. And then Tarot Summer School launched on the 3rd. So for the 4th year in a row, doing Tarot Summer School, and that is a lot. It is so much fun. I have so much fun meeting a lot of new people and working with new teachers every year. But it's also like just, a lot of work. But it's really great. We're having so much fun so far. The classes this year, we have a lot of new ones. So lots of like charm casting and Lenormand and different divination systems. And it's just been great. And I have been doing some artwork for my Animal Magic and Tarot, which comes out near the end in August. So that's been really, really fun. And then obviously I got the puppy. So for those of you who follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you've probably seen a few little stories, or there's a photo of Thor on there. So Dom, I don't believe getting a puppy or anything is a decision to be taken lightly, and this was something that I really, really thought of. I didn't get a puppy while I knew I had a lot of travel engagements, Reader's Studio, Northwest Tarot Symposium, going to, like going to New York, going to Seattle, all those sorts of things. I didn't want to have a puppy, like just go like, oh, we got a puppy, I'm just going to freaking leave it. So this was like the perfect time. And he's lovely. I mean, he's put holes in many of my pants because he wants to play all the time when I take him outside, and it's just like, yep, there goes another pair of pants. I'm just now wearing sweats for the rest of my life, so that until he like gets out of the teething phase, I'm like, not my good pants. But he's very, very sweet. Okay, so let's get on to, so that was pretty much like all the events. I could talk nonstop about what happened event-wise in June. It was just mostly a lot of personal stuff going on there. So I had, I'm sure a few of you can relate to this. I gave myself a goal of reading one fiction and one non-fiction book per month, and I failed miserably. I failed miserably in June to get that done. Honestly, it's been atrocious. I needed some coffee. I failed miserably. So these are the books that I picked for myself. Okay, so the first one that I wanted to revisit this. So the first book that I picked, my non-fiction book, was 78 Degrees of Wisdom by Rachel Pollack. This is the new edition of the Tarot Classic. And a lot of people ask me, oh, what's new? And that's a really good question. I don't know what's new. So if anyone does know, if anyone's done like a comparison, my other copy is behind my book up here. I'm not going to pull it all out. But I do have the original. And then I have this now. So yeah, I'm reading this book, the 78 Degrees of Wisdom. This is a classic. This is a classic book. And I like that it's a nice big format now. I have a smaller version of it. This is how far I got. Page 31. I told you I failed miserably. I love using my extra cards as bookmarks. Yep, that's how bad I got. I think it was just a lot of I've been working a lot, painting a lot. Right at the end of the month, I had set in my room another desk, and I use it for lots of things. But what I was doing is I was putting all the decks that I got sent and all that I purchased to unbox on that table, along with a big tray full of crystals. But what I didn't realize it was doing feng shui wise and just energy wise was I'd walk in the room and I would be met with all of this like to-do list stuff. And it was really stressing me out very badly. So what I did was I went to Michael's. I got a tray, one of those 10 tray wheelie trolleys. They're quite cheap. They're not expensive at all. And I put all of my decks away, took all my art supplies out of this cupboard that was in, which was a real hindrance for me getting to my art supplies because I had to go get them all out. and put all my tarot decks in the bookcase, in the cupboard, which is a bookcase cupboard, it's got doors, and put all my art stuff out on this table to create a creative space. And it immediately changed the vibe of the room. It immediately changed like my reaction to the room. And every time I do a video, it does this. It kind of thinks my computer thinks I'm going to sleep. No, you silly computer, I'm recording. So, and it's been so great. So now I've been painting, and I've got lots of drawing and painting and summer school and personal stuff. So I haven't had, and binge watching Lucifer. So there's been that, which I finished now. I finished all 4 seasons of Lucifer. No. So, and there was only 10 episodes of the last season. I was like, come on. So I know there's a 5th season coming. Now Good Omens is on my list to watch. Got the book, so I can't wait. But anyway, right back to it. That is the excuse I'm giving myself as to why I did not read this book as much as I should have. It's so good though. Like, I've read it before. So revisiting. The second book is Wanda Smith, The Calling of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. I have read Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. I saw this. Okay, so the story of this book. The story of this series is I was in somewhere, Eagle Bay, wherever that is near, it's not Dunsborough, somewhere in Western Australia near Eagle Bay. I'd gone into town and there was a little bookstore. And in the bookstore, there was this big cutout for Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. Jessica Townsend is Australian. So it just come out and I looked at it. I was like, oh, and then I Googled it a little bit, and there was all this news about how Universal had picked up the rights for the movies even before it was published. Like, it's going to be the next Harry Potter. And I was like, sign me up. So I got it when I got home, and then I gave copies to my friends, my sister. I was like, you got to well, I think Jamie actually got it from on Kindle. This is the second book. It's so much fun. If you like Harry Potter, you're going to, or like, Artemis Fowl or Percy Jackson, all those sorts of books, you are really going to love this. It's like #1 kids indie top 10 pick, #1 bestseller children's book of the year. It's very, very good. Very, very good. And this is the second book. I have hardcovers of both of them now, which is not my preference for books, but when they come out, they tend to be in hardcover. And I got this from, I got this cute little, this was sent to me. So, and look how far I got in that. Like, it's like page 33. No, page 11. Oh, Anthony, you're terrible. So my whole thing about sharing this, I was like, right, if I share this at the beginning of July, I want to be able to come back and give you like a mini review and be like, I did it. So that's the reason why I wanted to like come up in here and tell you about it. So the other book that the next book in my list of books to read, again, because I actually got to read this, a preview copy of this book, because as you'll see in here, I wrote a little thing on it. I wrote some praise for this book. Is Tarot for Troubled Times by Shaheen Miro and Teresa Reed, who are both just the most divine people. It's so great. So I actually got to read a preview copy. I'm now going to read this again. So this is my second choice for like July's choice for nonfiction book. That's a lot for me. So I'm not going to pick another fiction book, even though I do have one that I want to read, but I'm not going to do that until those are done. So those are the book. Tarot for Troubled Times, Wanda Smith, The Calling of Morrigan Crow, and 78 Degrees of Wisdom. This just came out. So if you're looking for a good book to read for tarot, then I would recommend this. That's if you haven't read my book. If you haven't read my book, what are you doing? Just joking, sort of. Okay, so what else have we got? decks. So I am still not doing readings for people. I'm working hard on projects still. My focus is to try and catch up on those because they all stalled very, very well. They didn't just stall, they stopped and started going backwards last year. But I did work with a few decks last month in June. The first one is the Hardy Tarot. Again, so I actually did show this last month, so I'm not going to go into this too much, but it's still been on my altar, and I showed this last month, so I'm not going to show too much of this one. It is a really stunner of a deck. I actually did quite a few readings with this deck for myself last month in June, and I really do like it. I'm a rough shuffler, so this is getting quite a bit of a beating. The next deck that I used a lot in June is the Textured Tarot by Lisa McLaughlin. I finally, if you saw my unboxing of it on my channel, I talked about how I've had this deck since it came out, and I'm not looking at the preset, she's so pretty, and I hadn't gotten around to working with it or unboxing it. Now the colors on here are going to look quite muted. They're not. It's just, I have studio light setups, as you can see in the reflection of my glasses. So it's just that's what's going on here. It's a beautiful deck. I love all of Lisa's work. I have all of her decks. And I just think this deck is divine, and it does have texture. Like if you read with it, the kitten has got cream. I love it. When you do hold it for the first time, you'll see that it's just got this beautiful texture because of all the textiles that she's actually used to create this deck. So I have been working with this deck, and I have got a full unboxing of this on my channel. It is so lovely, 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 lovely. And the backs are gorgeous too. Any readings that I've been doing while I haven't been doing a lot of client readings have been like more of myself for myself. There's two more. So the next one is the Herb Crafters Tarot, which I believe is now up on my YouTube channel. I'll have to check. If not, it's going up soon. I have done an unboxing of this, and I used it in Oracle Wednesday this month. It is really beautiful, and this one is signed by Joanna Powell Colbert. US Game Systems does a pretty great job with their boxes and everything. The packs are so beautiful. It's a delightful deck. I know so many hedge witches, I know so many herb witches, I know so many earth witches, kitchen witches, healers, herbalists who just, this deck is so for. While I'm not, I would definitely not say that I don't have a green thumb. I still work with herbs and oils and spices and magical components all the time. I have a huge collection, so this is just so, so, so beautiful. So this has been a real, for me, this is kind of half tarot, but a lot of it for me, just because it has not been my jamarama to work with herbs exclusively, it's like a study deck for me. It's like, oh, let's go and refresh my memory on what this herb can do. And being from Australia, not all of the herbs and spices in here have I ever worked with because they're from North America or they're not available where I used to live because I've only been here for 6 years. So it's interesting to like learn new things as you go. So that's definitely something that I've been finding with the Herbal Tarot, is it's been giving me a really great way of refreshing my, isn't that a beautiful, beautiful deck card. The print of this was amazing. Refreshing my knowledge of herbcraft, which is pretty great, and having this gorgeous tarot deck to work with as well, like, oh, just stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. The last one is a bit of a throwback tarot, the Fae tarot. Now, I got this when it first came out. I got the book separate. This is, I don't even know if this book is available anymore. Written by the person who created the deck, and the artwork is by Mara Aghem, and this was a deck that I got when I was a teenager. Let's see when this was created. Oh, a long time ago. It's got an old book plate in it. (2002), that's when I got this book. The Fae Tarot, Dreams, Joy and Magic. It's by Los Scarabeo. I don't know if it's still available. I'm going to have to... But this book actually goes through... Yeah, like it goes through quite a lot of... Like, you know, the chosen symbols in the cards. I bought this because I really wanted to learn this deck well. And here it says the sentence, the image, the simple meaning, the advanced meaning, the chosen symbols, and the reflections. So there's quite a lot in this book, and the colors are stunning. So I'm going to show you the deck. Look how banged up this box is. It's gone through a lot. It's traveled with me. This has come a long way. I mean, it's what, 2000. Oh, but look at that. I don't want that little unicorn flying bear thing. It's 2019. This is 17 years old. Damn, I feel really, really old. So the little white book you get is very... it's very usual, but we have, you know, there's some the Celtic Cross, the 5-card spread, the 3-card spread, and then just keywords. So that's why I went through this stage, and it was because I found this bookstore as well, where I would buy the big book to every tarot deck I could find. So I've got one for the new Paladina deck. I've got one for the Tarot of the Old Path. These are all separate. I got one for the Halloween tarot. I just really went through a stage of wanting all of them, and I have no regrets. I'm so glad that I did that. So this is a back, and as many of you know, if this is your first video, you're about to find out, but purple is my favorite color. It has been for as long as I can remember, and these are the backs, which are reversible, and this is the deck. Now I never trimmed it. I didn't want to. I was very drawn to this deck because I love Fae. There was this game which would have been a really cool app now called Fae. Oh crap! I have to find it. Fairy Worlds or something, and it kind of had a very similar art style. They had like elemental fairies and things like that, and I had a website, and I just really loved the images and the color palette. Of this deck. I mean, look at that. Oh, the Queen of Wands, funnily enough, reminds me very much of the Queen of Pentacles. But, oh, there goes another card. But it is just such a beautiful throwback deck that I was working with. I have a lot of decks that I've never shown in my collection. And this is one of them. I'd like to know if this is still available. It probably is. Oh, look at this little guy. just so cute. Like, it's just so, this is one of my favorite images, Temperance. It's just so beautiful, and I could look at it all day. There's just something so inviting about it that I really love. Kind of takes me back to all the things that I loved as a kid. You know, I was the kind of kid that was like, you know, if you told me like, don't step into a fairy ring, I would have been like, I'm in the fairy ring, take me away, you know. So it reminds me of a very sweet time. So there's another deck that has been on the love list for June. So those are the decks that I've been working with, and the books. The full moon in June, the Working So Common were working with Artemis. In July, we're working with Lakshmi. But Artemis, we were working with Unleashing the Wild Witch and the Wild Woman, and we did mud mask symbols and putting symbols on our bodies, and it was really, really fun. I revamped Oracle Wednesday. It's now on YouTube, Instagram TV. It now takes a lot more time than it used to, but people seem to be really enjoying the 3-card iteration, or 3 elements, and having a deeper message, and seeing the videos and having more to go on. So if you do enjoy it, if you are enjoying it, keep enjoying it, and please share it, because it does take now over a full day for me to do that, and I'm doing it still for free. So if you could, the big thing that you can do to say thank you to me for that, if you want to say thank you, I guess, is that assumptive, or me being an asshole? Maybe. Is to share it with people. That means the world to me. So finally, music for the month. I've got 3. So last month I had 3 dudes to share. This month I have 3 women. The first one is Lizzo, who I have been obsessed with since I found this old clip on Facebook of this amazing woman stomping it out to flute playing, like the flute. If I could find this clip, I'd be so happy. And I played the flute in my band in school, in high school and through elementary school. And so I was like, who is this fabulous woman? Just like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. And then I found Truth Hurts and Juice and Good as Hell, and I was like, I'm in love. So if you don't know Lizzo, I'm going to put the links to those songs. I think that she is just the most divine, and her performances she's been at Glastonbury this year. She was at the MTV Music Awards doing just everything. I am obsessed. Again, I'm not going to play music this time. I might play one or something, but I know I felt like that was a little weird last month. But if, by popular opinion, if you want me to bring it back, I will. I'll just be like, doing all that kind of stuff. So there's that. Amazing Lizzo. My phone was ringing, so I apologize about that. Then Taylor Swift came out with new music. So she had Me, and my favorite, You Need to Calm Down, with just so many people that I absolutely love. Billy Porter, Todrick Hall, so many drag queens. I was like, pause, and I was just like, Trinity the Tuck, Tatiana. I got Jay Jolly. I was like, holy crap, that is a glow up. I thought that was actually Taylor Swift for a second. So that was amazing. RuPaul, Laverne Cox. I was just like, this video clip is killing me. It's so good. If you haven't watched it, you should. I'm going to put a link below. But I love Taylor Swift. I'm not mad about the fact that I love Taylor Swift. I just do. If you haven't watched her Reputation tour on Netflix, you should. It's all the costumes in it. I just think are rad. And then the last one is Lydia Ainsworth, who I found. I'm going to try and find I found through one of the Coven members of the Awaken Soul Coven. We asked to talk about music that makes us feel witchy, and this was her. She's really, really cool. So I'm enjoying Tell Me I Exist, Edge of the Throne, Take Your Face Off, Wicked Games. So I will put some links to her music. Very, very cool music. That is it. That wraps it up. Next month, I'm still working on a bunch of projects. I've got, if you could see this workspace, you would see how much I'm working on right now. The Bad Bitches Tarot we're so close to getting the print issues that we have. Oh my God, the headache, guys. Ladies, gentlemen, people, aliens. It makes me want to cry in a corner. It's just been a nightmare, to be honest, and it's no one's fault. I don't know why I didn't think of the solution before I did, but indie printing your own deck is not so much fun. So the second edition will hopefully be here this month. So that's in July. So there is a wait list on my website, ethany.com. I'll leave a bunch of links in the description below. I hope you enjoy these rambling videos. I'm going to go drink the rest of my caffeine and get back to writing, and I will see you all soon.